morning. Hey, Connie.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're gonna give everybody a couple minutes because Amy posted the wrong link on accident. She posted the happy hour link from Friday instead of the morning meeting. So we just reposted the right link, and she's emailing it out to everybody. So, or Elise is emailing it out to everybody. So we'll give them a couple seconds. Hope everybody had a good Easter weekend.
Oh, quiet. Hey, Angelina.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Hey, did anyone have a chance to watch the Saturday Night Live skit they did about Zoom calls?
No.
If you've been on a lot of Zooms, it was hilarious. I didn't watch the whole thing. You know, they drive me crazy most of the time, but the Zoom one was really, if you get a chance, go back and Google Saturday Night Live Zoom skit and watch it because it's really funny. Really funny. Dave, that's a loud sip when you can activate your microphone.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning. We're going to give everybody a chance to get on. Amy accidentally shared the happy hour link on Facebook, so we'll give everybody a few minutes to catch up here. Today we're going to talk about compliance and commissions, I believe. Is that accurate, Connie?
Yeah. Hopefully Karen gets on to talk about compliance.
Yeah. And commissions. She's good at that too. And one of the things that I want to talk about, Connie, once the group gets up and going, is I was looking at the numbers, and our GCI percentage is down. It was like 2.6%. So basically that means, we're seeing a lot of sub 3% sides. And I want to make sure, we touch a little bit about
Protecting our commissions.
yeah, protecting our commissions. Sorry, Margie was texting me there.
Are you seeing a lot of sub 3% listings taken?
I'm not, but that's a good question for Karen and Carol. I
just got on here. What's the question?
Commissions under 3%.
Are you seeing a lot of them, Karen?
Not really a lot of them. No.
Okay.
Because I always make them ask permission from Connie if I see one under that.
Honestly, I think some of it is a symptom not of us taking lower listings, but I think we've been buyer heavy. And I think maybe this shows us that other brokerages have been cutting their commissions. And so,
okay, let's go get in the back. I've got a meeting to do online.
Sorry, let me mute her there. We're doing a lot of 2.5 buyer sides, that'll draw that average down. Which it's not, if that's what they're offering, that's something we can talk about in depth once everybody we get rolling. I understand when I was an agent, I would sign my buyer's agency and it would have the 3% in there. Now it's a different animal when you're actually working with your buyers and they find the house and it offers 2.5%. I know it's tough to sometimes go back and ask them to pay you that other 0.5%. So I'm not necessarily criticizing that, but I do think it's a symptom of buyers. And our listing count is down. And the honest truth is, I think that's a symptom of easy buttonitis. I think a lot of agents have bought a lot of leads, and the leads that you buy from Zillow and Realtor.com, those are buyer leads. You're not buying listing leads. And so I think that's what you get. And it'll show you that your average commission is going down if you're buyer heavy. That's why listings are so important. One of the jillion reasons why listings are so important.
To show our value, and Matt, you can talk about that a little bit. You know, our value and what we do to protect our buyers and how much better they are if they work with a buyer's agent, and what we do for them in teaching them what the best offer is and that kind of stuff. I don't understand cutting our commissions. I really don't. And you say 3, I say 3.5. You know, I'm still on the old 7%.
Oh, well, and you know what? That's a product of coming from the market I came from. Yeah, it's 3.5 here. I apologize. That's right. Yeah. I really just blame Rick Servant. I think he's the source of most.
I do too.
I was just checking to see if make sure your speakers were working, Rick.
Yeah, you can't blame me. Just ask Karen and Connie. I don't do the low commission thing. I don't like it.
Well, I want to say good morning to everybody. It's 9 o'clock, so I'm going to do my little song and dance for a couple minutes here. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I hope you all had a safe and as blessed an Easter weekend as we can in these times. You know, I heard we were listening to different services yesterday morning, and one of the pastors made a really good point. He said, now you know what the first Easter was like. He said they weren't all together in a church. You know, they were all essentially self-quarantined, hiding from the Romans. He taught a message around that. It actually, it was powerful because, that message reminded us that it's not all about painted eggs and things like that, and kind of what the reason for the season, if you will, was of it. So I hope you all had a wonderful Easter. Somebody hasn't taught Big Mike how to use the mute button. Sorry about that. Also, I want to go ahead and just let everybody know, and we're going to talk about this a little bit towards the end again, but I want to thank everybody for joining in these, and I want everyone to understand these are optional. These are not required, right? And we don't want you to feel like you have to be here every day diving into the Zooms, and don't feel like if you miss one or if you choose to take a day off because you've got to go lead generate or something else, we're going to be rolling through this information. Yes, ma'am? Oh, sorry. Sherry Wigg just opened my door and then left. So, don't feel pressured to attend each one of these. Don't let it get on you. If you've got other stuff to do, if you need to go lead generate or if you need to go on appointments, we'll circle back. We're posting the videos. You won't miss anything because we don't want you to feel like this is a required thing every day. We want you to be with us every day. We're here for you. We want to pour into your business, but we don't want you to feel like, oh man, if I miss one, there's going to be some sort of repercussions, because there's certainly not going to be. So I just want to point that out because it was brought to my attention. Some people were feeling a little bit overwhelmed by it all, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Now, here's the deal: we're not ever going to stop bringing you value. We're not ever going to stop trying to pour into your business, and we're not ever going to stop training and touching our agents and pouring into their business. So we want you to participate if you can, but if you can't or you feel like it's too much, I want you to just take a morning off, circle back. You can certainly watch it some other time. So don't feel obligated, but we're not ever going to give up on it. We're going to come in every day. We're going to strap our boots on, and we're going to focus on growing our real estate business through this. So just want to make that everyone aware of that, and I appreciate any feedback you do have. If you have questions, if we do leave you in the dust, please reach out to me or Matt or Connie or Jordan or Tiffany or Karen, or any of us are happy to walk you through something or go over it in more detail if you want. So just wanted to say that. All right, so welcome everybody to Monday morning. We're going to talk a little bit today around compliance and commissions. We're going to talk about how to get paid, what you got to do. Karen's going to jump on, hopefully share her screen and show you as she clicks through some things. We've also put in looms and zooms around it on our YouTube channel, Keller Williams Lake the Ozarks Realty. We want to welcome all of our Four Seasons, Camdenton, Jeff City, Lake of the Ozarks group, as well as our family from Branson. We appreciate you guys jumping on and participating with us this morning. We're excited to have you. And so I am going to get out of the way and turn it over to Connie or Karen, who's going to start the conversation here, ladies.
I want to start out by reminding everybody you've gotten an email from the board office about the clear cooperation. they showed what the board directors voted on last week as fines. There is no, well, you did it one time, we'll let it go. It is a $500 fine for the first offense, $1,000 for the second. So these are things with the clear cooperation, which begins May 1st, that you all have to be on top of and get your listings put into the MLS within 24 hours of taking the listing and advertising the listing. That means you put a sign on it, you go out and take the listing, you put a sign on it, you've got 24 hours to get it into the MLS. And I hope everybody realizes what that means.
So that is the anti-pocket listing rule, basically?
It's not really anti-pocket listing, it's just telling you that you cannot take a listing, and the board sent a connection to the NAR video, which is very good, and I can play that if you want, but it's basically keeping agents from taking listings, holding on to it for a week or two, trying to sell themselves in-house, which is not fair to their sellers or their buyers or the other members that we have an agreement with that we will cooperate and share our listings with. So there's NAR is the one that's brought this up, and it is a law, and it will be a heavy fine if you don't do it correctly. If you got questions on it, give me a call.
Can I ask you something on that?
Yeah.
If you have a legal request in a listing agreement, does that regulation still pertain? Such as our colleagues in Nashville, Tennessee area, they put in their listing agreement that the listing shall be effective on today's date, April the 13th, but will not go live on MLS until April the 20th.
Well, I'm not positive on this, but my understanding is you can take a listing today and not have it go into effect until a week from today, but you cannot advertise it. You can talk amongst ourselves in our office about it, but you cannot put a sign on it, put it on Facebook or any kind of advertising with that done.
So if I took a listing this week and I said, okay, like Matt said, they said, well, don't list it till XYZ date a week from now. I can't market it to the public, but I could come on here and say, hey guys, just to let you know, because this is our group, I could say, okay, you know, I've got 1313 Mockingbird Lane coming next week. If anybody knows a buyer looking in that area.
That's my understanding, is that we can talk amongst our office about coming soon or what we're getting, but we cannot start advertising. The minute we put that sign on or put something on Facebook or do any kind of advertising, you've got 24 hours to get it in, or there's a first offense of $500 fine.
Okay. Margie asked in the chat, does the 24 hours start after the agent signed or the DR signs?
You mean the DR because of the designated agency?
What do you mean by that, Margie, when you're saying DR?
The only thing I sign on a listing is the designated agent part. Basically, if you take a listing and the seller signs it and you sign it, we have a listing agreement, so it's 24 hours from then.
Okay. Unless they have specified to wait until another date in the contract.
But we receive a lot of contracts by mail. So the date that the client signs it is not the same date that we would get it in the mail and we would sign it. But it was always before, as a designated agent, it's really not a true contract until the DR signs it.
And I agree with that. The designated agency needs to be signed prior to everybody. So it's not a contract unless both the seller and the listing agent and the DR signs the contract, because it is a contract between the sellers and the company. Okay.
So the 24 hours starts when it becomes a contract.
Right. Just
Which
because
that would be when the DR signs it.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So there's not what is it used to be like 3 days after a contract was completely signed before you could put it in MLS? If you don't advertise it at all, is that
24 hours after you get the contract signed by all, it needs to be in the MLS, and no advertising prior to that.
Okay. All right. So there you go, guys. Good tip. Great way to start the Monday morning is by helping us avoid, would you say, a $500 fine the first time and $1,000 the second?
And I think it's $2,500 for the third. Wow.
Wow. So there you go. Behave yourselves. Don't be breaking that rule. And, you know, one of the benefits is we've got about 140 agents in our group. So obviously, if you do have something and you want to talk about it amongst us, you can. Just don't advertise it to the public. So there you go. Thank you, Connie. Any other rule changes or any other compliance issues we're staring down the barrel of?
The only other thing I want to remind our Four Seasons agents is the Addendum A, which there's been some talk about what that is and why we use it. And that is for all lakefront homes. It is a protection for ourselves, our buyers, and our sellers. It's something that when we list a property, we should show that, you know, these are things that the buyer is probably going to ask for. My suggestion is on all listings is that you strongly urge your seller to go ahead and have the electrical looked at by Bennett or somebody that can look at it and make sure the electric's on is up to par. That will keep them from having some surprise after they've signed a contract that there's $7,000 worth of electrical work that has to be done in order to transfer the permit. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is a lot of times people have got a permit, but they've had that permit for 10 years. And when they got the permit, it was for a different dock, and they don't know that. I mean, they don't know what their permit thing is, but we should know that. So every time you take a listing, you should be contacting Ameren UE to get a copy of the permit and the drawings and make sure that the dock that's in place with that permit is the same as the dock that's there. I just had that myself. My seller said, oh yeah, I got a permit, here's the number. And when I got the stuff from Ameren, it was for a single well dock, and he had a 2-well dock. He didn't know the difference when he bought it. It had a 2-well dock. The permit transferred back then, but we had to redo all the permitting, which was $700 to get it done, get permits back in place. So be proactive and get your sellers, because they're going to have to do it anyway, to go ahead and get the permits for you, and you talk to Ameren. We as agents can get that information from Ameren and make sure that the dock that is there is a dock that's in place. This has been a huge problem with several people lately.
Okay. All right, so there you go. Addendum A's and dock permits. And I'm sure down there in Branson with Table Rock, you guys deal with dock permits as well. So, you know, be cognizant of that and, you know, be proactive. Like Connie said, the best thing you can do as an agent is be proactive. One of our agents had an issue where we actually, looks like we're going to get this person as a recruit because they got a contract with somebody. And then when our agent started asking them for other things, the agent said, well, my broker said all I have to do is get the contract signed and then that's it. And hadn't told them that all the other things they had to go through to do it. So, you know, be proactive. Like Connie said, don't let the game come to you. Be out there, be on top of things. So great point, Connie.
It's really easy to explain to your seller why this needs to be done. And I know they don't want to spend a lot of money, but there are electric companies out there that will do the inspection for free. Why not find out ahead of time? You know, it's kind of like a preparedness to have everything and make sure it's the right permit. Don't wait till the last minute. And I will tell you that it took me a while to get the permits back from Ameren, much longer than it used to. So, and I'm sure right now it's even worse, but let's just be proactive and get all our ducks in a row.
All right, excellent. Good call. Be proactive. So we're going to switch gears here and talk about everybody's favorite subject, getting paid, right? We all like to get paid. We all like money. Karen Schulte is who handles compliance and helps us get paid up here. I'm not sure who does it for the Branson group, but I'm sure they're using commissions as well. And so, Karen, I'm going to jump in and let you talk to everybody about how to get paid.
All right, so here I am, and yes, in Keller Williams, Lake of the Ozarks, I always call myself the mean compliance lady. So that's just my moniker here. So a couple things. I'm just thinking in my head over a lot of things that I end up having to send back to people. I want to start out first with that. One of the big things is make sure to do a buyer's agency agreement, something Connie and I talk about all the time. I'll get all the documents in and I'll be going through it, and there will be no buyer's agency agreement in there. Very important that you get that signed up front. First thing, get it signed.
Prior to contract.
Yes, prior to it needs to be before you do the contract. Have them sign that buyer's agency agreement. It can be the same day, but have them sign that first. The other thing is, another thing Connie and I struggle with are inventory lists. An inventory list needs to name all the items included. I will never accept all furniture as seen on a certain date. The furniture all needs to be listed. And if you look at Connie, she keeps shaking her head because she doesn't like it. So, and that's one of the big things. If you're doing an inventory list, make sure you do all the inventory. And I know sometimes you get contracts in and that other agent's going to write on there all furniture, but you need to make sure you have a list and you have the buyers and the sellers sign that.
So when you take a listing and furniture is included, make a list of the furniture. If it's just appliances or other items, that should either be on a personal property list or on the contract it is included in the list price under special agreement.
And I know it's kind of a pain having to go into like a condo or something and make a list of all the furniture that's going to convey, but you really need to do it so that there's no issue with you buying somebody a couch, a refrigerator, something like that, because you don't want to have to buy somebody a piece of furniture.
Can I ask a question? Connie, what defines, I had an agent in Jeff City in a meeting a little while ago that was talking about having to buy somebody an Xbox because they didn't include the Xbox. What is the cutoff between, okay, it's understood that that's personal property. Like the market I came from, Texas, we have a rule that if it's not attached, it's going with the sellers unless it's specified in the contract.
Well, and we had a little bit different here at the lake because even more so than in Jeff City, but a lot of times the properties that are being listed and sold includes everything that's in the house or in the condo. So if you have it on a list that it's conveyed or not conveyed, whichever it is, then there's no misunderstanding. The problem comes when you go do the walkthrough and that item is not there, and it was on the list that it was supposed to be there, then you've got some grounds. If you don't, then in my opinion, you're the one that's messed up and by not identifying that would or would not stay.
Sure. And guys, as we go into a shift, and we have been talking about the shift coming even before the virus happened, as you go into a shift, the agents that succeed and the agents that survive through that are going to be the ones that are thorough, that are detailed. I heard Karen mention, I know it's kind of a pain in the elbow. Well, you know what? Yeah, except it's going to be important to take those little extra steps. We're coming out of a market where the real estate market's been so hot, you could throw a sign out your window as you drove down the road and whatever yard it landed in, that house would sell that day. As things balance out, the agents that take their time to write out the list of inventory, to pay attention to those little details, those are the ones that are going to sell the properties. Those are the ones that are going to get the good referrals from their other clients. Those are the ones who are going to build a business that lasts through the shift. So, some of the things that maybe we've been a little lazy on because, hey, it's been the good times, and everybody's farting through silk. Well, now it's going to get a little tougher, right? So Tori asked, would video work for a turnkey? So Connie, would that work if you had a video of everything?
It will if you can download it onto our system. Yeah, taking pictures. You can say, here's a picture of the living room, here's a picture. You can do that, but it has to be something that we've got in our files.
Okay. All right, excellent. All right, Karen, continue there. Sorry, we just wanted to expound on that point a little bit.
No, that's what we're trying to do, is to make it easier for everybody. It's easier for you, me, let's do it right the first time, then we don't have to keep going back and redoing it. Some of the other things I know that it's new for the older Keller Williams agents here at the lake, and will be probably brand new then for our Four Seasons people, and that's doing the measurement disclaimer. Get a lot of arguments on people not wanting to fill that out. It is for your protection. You can, especially now here at the lake, we have realists. You can go into all the counties and find out what the square footage on most properties are. Doesn't mean they're exactly right, but that's when you put on there, where did you get that information? If you got it from the county, better than you measuring and it say it was a certain amount and you're wrong. If you put that it's the county, you're not saying you measured it. So make sure you go find that and put that on there and include that in your listing. And then it needs to be on all of your sales contracts as well.
And that came directly from the Missouri Real Estate Commission about complaints that were being made and lawsuits that were being done because of the, if you said 2,000 square feet and then the appraisal comes in and it comes in at 1,500, they're going, where's that other 500 square feet? They come after the agent for the other 500 square feet. So it's a protection for us. It's a simple thing to do. Just do it.
Just do it. That's our slogan. Just do it.
Just do that, and then we now do the final walkthrough, which we didn't used to do, but we do that now as well. So just do it. It's easy. Take it to closing. Have them sign it. It's not a big deal. They're signing 20,000 other things. Just have them sign something else. Okay, the next thing I'm going to go into is I'm going to go a little bit into Command and show a couple things in Command if you'll all hang in with me, and I'm going to go get there.
Oh, are you going to show them? We're going to talk about the flat commission question.
I am going to go talk about that, if that's
Good.
all right with you, Martin.
Oh, please. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure and point that out.
Can I ask a question while you're getting to your screen, Karen?
You certainly may.
Well, you were faster than I thought you would be.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm helping Denny enter a lot into Command for just a listing that he has, but he didn't do a percentage for the commission. He did a set amount, like a set amount. Since Command doesn't let you switch between the two, what do you typically do when that's a set dollar amount instead of a percentage?
If you hang with me for a few minutes, I think you're going to see that.
See, I knew you were going to answer it.
I'm headed that direction if you give me a minute, okay?
You're awesome.
Well, and this is something I did not ever find this in a video to help me figure out how to do it. I kind of figured it out myself, so I'm just hoping I'm doing it right. That's all I'm going to say. I had Martin look at it. He said, yeah, does it work? I said, well, it works. So we kind of went with it. Right, Martin?
Yes, ma'am. And if it works and the agents can get paid and everybody's happy, then Connie shakes her finger at me sometimes, but I tend to be a look the other way guy. Like, hey, as long as my agents are happy, they're getting paid, we'll sweat the repercussions down the road. Connie's pinned me up against the wall a couple times and said, look, kid, don't be acting that way.
He's not licensed, guys. We are.
So, okay, I'm going to go into Command, but Sherry Wig, I'm going to use one of your listings as my project or my whatever, because it's the one I used before when I showed Martin. So that's where I'm going to go, is under Sherry Wig. Because if you didn't know, everybody, I used to do Sherry Wig stuff. So, yep, I can do anything in her stuff I want to. Right, Sherry? She's not even going to answer me. She's not even going to argue with me. All right, so I'm going to go into opportunities. Maybe. All right, so let me go find this one, the one I want to show. And that's not it. Let me go.
Elise, were you putting one in for Denny for commissions, or were you putting it into his opportunity?
No, so we listed this a couple of weeks ago, but we had some stuff that needed to be updated, so I thought I'd just put it into his command for him.
Okay.
Since he and I are both learning it, and I'm not an agent, so I have to use other people's listings.
Gotcha.
All right, so now I'm going in here, and they were probably in here and took all this stuff out of here. Where is all your stuff, Sherry Week? They changed it all.
Oh, because she just merged.
They just merged.
Yeah.
Well, all right, they just messed me all up. All right, let me go try this a different way. All right, hang in with me, people.
Connie, do you have some of your deals and opportunities?
Yeah.
Because I have Connie's login. I can share my screen and you can narrate if you wanted me to.
All right, let me get out of Sherry Week.
Everybody likes Connie. Yeah.
I have so many. Are you just looking to get into a listing? Is that what you're looking to get into?
Well, we want to be able to show them the commissions.
Yeah, I need to show them how to change some numbers. Of course, I have this all planned, and then they played with it. Figure out what I want to do here. Hang on, people. Okay, let's just go. Okay.
Hey, Karen Robin says they have all theirs in the Staten group if you need her login.
Either that, or if she just wants to go in, I can talk her through it if she doesn't mind. I can give her the screen. Just let me know what she wants to do.
Robin, are you hearing that?
Yes, sorry about that. I mean, whichever's easier, Karen.
If you just want to share the screen, I can just kind of talk you through it if that works for you.
Okay. Here we go.
For those of you that don't recognize the voice, that's Robin Staten. She's the brains behind the Staten group, and she runs that team at a high level. They're doing a great job.
So Sherry, not Sherry, I'm sorry, Robin. Robin, if you can go to one that you have a contract on and have the offer.
We probably already have the commission set up though, Karen. Is that going to be?
No, because we can switch it right back.
Okay.
We can change it and then we can go back, because that's what I was doing with Sherry's, just to make sure it worked.
Okay, we actually do have one that we need to change the closing date on. So.
Well, look at that pipeline.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Tell me how far you need to go in, Karen.
Pardon? What, Robin?
Just, I mean, which screen do you want me to go to first?
Just go to, okay, so this is your offer. Just go to commissions. Okay, so right now, if you can see this, it is 3% commission. And so that's going to tell them how much to pay off that. Let's say they're only going to pay $500 commission on this lot. So Robin, if you go to the 840 and you back that and just erase that out of there, and I promise you can put it back because we won't submit it. So if you click on the 840.
Yeah, I'm trying to click on it. It won't let me edit that.
It will not let you edit that. That's interesting, because I can go in and edit that.
I may not have rights to do that. I don't know. Is there a?
Has it already been submitted?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
That's why.
So yeah, pick one that hasn't been submitted. Sorry, Robin.
Okay, sorry.
Nope, we're good. Hey, we're trying to do this. We're all learning.
So if I do, all of mine have been submitted. So should we just use one to play with?
Sure. So they've all been submitted to commissions, or?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, we'll just use this one here. This is just an active listing, but we're gonna have to do an offer first, correct?
Right. Yep,
Yep.
we can go in and make a pretend offer.
So we're gonna hit add new offer.
Yep. And I see Rick Servant just put something on about inventory list, Martin, but I couldn't see it all. Did you see it?
I can, and while you guys are putting in your pretend offer, including the following phrase on an inventory list can help a great deal with getting a butter's loan. That should say buyer's loan approval through underwriting. All items listed are provided for the convenience of the seller. So I guess that's to that's so that it helps to get it through approval, because sometimes banks get iffy about if they're loaning money with the
Yeah.
property included, furniture
Because
included.
they don't want to have to think that they're paying for furniture.
Gotcha. Thank you, Rick. You guys want to go to the chat and cut and paste that and save that? That's a handy little phrase to be putting in there.
Some lenders won't even allow that. They want it completely removed from the contract.
And it just all depends on the lender, who the lender is.
The part that I hate on this is sometimes we don't get, it won't pull. We need to put the address in there.
Okay. And Jenna, I know you asked about if it's the convenience for the buyer. It's really not it's more a convenience for the seller, stating that they don't have to remove all that furniture. So that's why it usually states as a convenience for the seller.
With no value to the buyer.
Yep, with no value to the buyer.
Ah.
All right, Karen, do you want me to go ahead and keep going on this, on the terms?
Okay, so you have an offer. So yeah, you can just fill in just so that commissions will light up and we can get in there.
Oh, my God. Okay. So we're gonna accept.
Yep, and then accept the offer. If it's gonna let you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Don't you just love it? There's always days like that. Just like this morning, I tried to log in and it first shouted back at me that there was no such person with no such password. So some days it just has a few issues, but it's all right.
There you go.
Try and refresh. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay, so if you hit commissions,
Oh, I thought we had. Let's go back to details real fast. And it never seems like it lets you put that contract date in. It always seems like it kicks me back out. But
okay, so thank you, Robin. All right, so if you go up to the 540, and we're gonna say, if you can erase that and just say that they're gonna pay you 500. So it doesn't like it, but that's okay. Come down to where it says total commissions. And put the 500 in there. And there you go. Now it likes it. And if you can see that her commissions part on the side, it just changed with those amounts. It changed, of course, what the commission percentage was, but that's okay. As long as your number, it's the $500, what is the commission? That's the total commission. And then the commissions that Amy right now is going to see should add up to the right amount.
And just to be clear, this is what you do when you've taken a flat rate listing. So like if you're listing lots for somebody and you said, well, I mean, I'm just going to charge you $1,000 to sell these lots, things like that. This is how you kind of backdoor your commission request. You don't do this for your regular deals. If you've taken a listing at 7%, or you're working a buyer and they're offering 3 to 3.5% buyer's agency commission, you just put the commission in and it'll calculate for you, put the percentage in. This is only to kind of back into if you have a flat rate listing.
Okay, and Deb asked, how do you change one that has been submitted? There is a form that I have that you fill out, and it will go to Amy here at our market center, and then she can go in and change that. I will put that in email and email that out to all our KW Lake of the Ozarks people. I'm pretty sure the Branson people have one of their own.
Karen,
Yes?
when I go
Somebody's
into
talking to
just enter a listing and I go down to commission rate and I put in the dollar amount, it's not letting me save it. So how do we do it when we're just entering a listing, like an opportunity listing?
Like if it's just that a 500, like say a $500 amount. When you ask for percentage, you may have to figure out what that percentage number is for it to take that. Where it always asks, when you fill out your opportunity, and usually we put 3% as the commission.
Right.
You may right there have to figure out what that percentage actually is and entered it there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
I get it, and I'm not saying it will always be like this. I mean, every day we can send in things to KW for them to change things on command, and the more we send in, the better it is, so that they get this more user-friendly for all of us.
Sure. And when you're putting it in the opportunities, if you can calculate the percentage, right, which that's an easy calculation to do, to find the percentage to put in there, or you can put it in as 1% in the opportunity, and all that will do is it'll affect your projected and your probable versus your potential income on your pipeline a little bit. But when you go to submit your commissions, you'll still be able to change it to the flat fee in your commission request.
That is correct. So if you put the 3% in your listing, just make sure when it goes to sell, you change it in commissions, and it should change.
Okay.
And Robin jumps on and says, do you want to show how to split commission if you also have to pay a team member?
No. I have not done that yet. So
Robin probably knows how. She's got some team members.
Hang on just a minute. Lynn asked a question about it, Addendum A. She wanted to know if you need Addendum A for condos, and that's a no. Because condos are not, you really don't own the waterfront things at a condo. You're leasing them. Just like in a condo, the water well agreement, I don't usually need that, and the lake and pond, I don't need that on a condo, because those are whole different animals than if it's a private house.
Good question, though, because we sell a lot of condos here. I assume they do at Branson as well.
Oh, I bet they do. So, Robin,
can you show us how to do the commission split if you're also paying a team member?
Absolutely. So when you are down at the agent breakdown here, you're not going to do the co-broker payment. That is like if we're paying another, let's say Keller Williams office, something like that. So you're going to come over here to your agent, and you're going to figure out, like, if Mike and Scott were on this transaction together and we needed to pay Scott his 50%, you're just going to knock this down. So it shows 0.5 for Mike, and then we would split that to 250 for him. And then it will open up an add agent down here at the bottom. So you would just click agent, and then we would find Scott, add him, and then it's going to let him have 0.5. Whoops, at 250, whoops, 250. And then it will automatically figure out the royalty and company dollar. Right now, when you look up at Mike's, we've already capped, so it isn't taking out that percentage right now. However, on Scott, he is not capped and hasn't finished paying his royalty. So it does show his check is going to be different. So Scott's going to get 160 on this one. Mike's going to get 250. One thing on this, and I'm not sure, just anybody that is already capped, our new cap starts in May, and I have this closing. We put it that it was closing in May. It's not recognizing that we start in May, so it isn't taking anything out right now. So I'm not sure how that looks for Amy once we submit it, and this is a closing in May. She'll have to do something, I guess, to make sure that our company.
Yeah, once May rolls over, it should reset for you, and it should adjust it. That is the one hiccup they've had with it, is sometimes the computer doesn't show accurate whether you've capped or not, but the office does know, and they will be able to deal with that.
So that's just how you add agents in there to split.
Excellent. All right, so thank you so much, ladies. Questions, ahas around commissions, putting in other issues anybody's been running into? Feel free to jump in here with us.
The other thing, Martin, is up here under notes. That's where I was just typing in, like I would put in here, add a note to Amy that, hey, we cap in May. This hasn't taken it out yet, just as a reminder. Or if you're just needing to type something to somebody in compliance, you could add a note on there.
It's a great point right there. Yeah, add a note, communicate with them. So if you're having an issue, hey, I couldn't get this right. Hey, I don't understand. Hey, I think this is wrong. Put it in the note and they'll see it.
Yep. And also, like I said, if you have things change in your commissions, like I said, I will send out that form. I think it may already be in the checklist things that we have in command, but I will make sure y'all have that form that if you have to change your commissions, that you can send that to Amy so she can see that. Any other questions at the moment? And like Martin has always said, just come in here and play and do things, and you're not going to break it. And if you do, then it needs to be broken so that they can fix it and make it work easier for all of us. It's kind of like when you got your first cell phone and you had to play with it and you had to see what all it would do. It's kind of the same thing. Don't be afraid of it. Just come in and play in here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I did have a question, but I'd have to try to figure out how to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about.
Jenna, if you go down to the bottom, there should be a share screen option.
It should be a little green button that says share screen with an up arrow down at the bottom of your screen. Do you see it?
Yeah, it says I can't do it while you're doing it.
Oh, should I stop share, Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin, if you want to hit that. There we go. All right, Jenna, you're up.
Okay, I'm trying to find the right thing. There we go. Oh, nope, maybe that ain't me. I don't know. Anything pop in there?
I don't see anything yet.
Okay, let's see.
So isn't it exciting kind of that Zoom exists and we can do all this?
Mm-hmm.
I was telling everybody when we got started, if you haven't Googled the Saturday Night Live Zoom skit from this weekend, you need to go watch it. If you've been participating in all these Zooms like everyone around the country, go watch it. It was only if you're doing this will you really get the laugh. And we've all been doing this for a couple weeks now, and I was in tears. Tori says, Jenna, you might have to turn video on. That's a good point.
Oh. Let's see.
I think I can.
Well, you all just keep talking while I try.
We're working on it. That's all right.
You're good. It's all a learning for all of us. That's the great part about it. Just like I went in and did a loom, then I sent it to Martin. He said, but there was no noise. I said, that's because I didn't talk. I just showed it.
It's better if you talk. There she is. There's Jenna Bates.
So is the screen showing?
Yes, ma'am. We can see you with your.
But we don't see your share. We don't see
your share, but we see your video. Now try to share your screen.
Okay. Well, my stuff left I'm doing 2 screens. That might be my problem.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I've never done it with 2 screens.
Never tried to share it from 2 screens.
I give up. Anyway, at the top of this, we have two accounts. And Martin, you can pull us up and look at that. You know that. So we have the Bates Eschenbrenner Group B Selling Team LLC. And then we have another one, and it's Bates Eschenbrenner Group the. And I'm confused. I noticed nobody else had this issue going on at the top of their screen. And it's like you can click over to each one of them. And I don't want to put stuff in the wrong one. I just want to keep it in the one we're using.
Okay, let me, I've got your login, Jenna. Why don't you let me share my screen real quick?
Okay.
We'll dive into this just real quick. Share my screen here with everybody. So there you go. All right, so I am in the, let me get this down here out of my way. All right, so the Bates Eschenbrenner Group, and now I use Terry's login, Jenna, not yours.
No, that's fine. That's what I use too.
Okay, so I'm seeing the Bates Eschenbrenner B Selling Team LLC as the team I can select.
Yep,
Right.
and you should see a second one.
No, ma'am. If you can see, can everybody see my screen here?
Yes.
I just have the one option there. Is that different than what you're seeing, Jenna?
I don't know what, I can't see anything now.
Well, that's okay. I'll loom it out with you, or you could maybe send me a screenshot of what you're looking at. And guys, Jenna raises a good point overall, and that is if you're having an individual struggle with it, sometimes for whatever reason, you know, there's a herky-jerky thing, reach out to me. I'm happy to log in. As you can see, when I log in and share my screen, I've got a dozen people's logins in their command because I'll go in individually and try to help it, you know, and a lot of times it's something that we can solve within minutes, a quick loom or text around, oh, you were just clicking this wrong, or this is what's set up. So, but right now, I don't see anything. I see that the Bates Eschenbrenner Group doesn't have the LLC, but that just may be a lack of character ability. There's not a way to change that. So the Bates Eschenbrenner Group B Selling Team LLC is the only team I see available, and the only thing you're in there, Jenna. So I think you're in the right spot. So other questions, concerns, ahas? Anybody learn anything? Anybody not learn anything? We're open to either one. No? Okay. All right. Excellent. 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 I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Stop sharing. There you go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. I want to thank you all for playing along. We want to do these every morning, but like I said at the beginning, guys, these are not mandatory. These are optional. So we're going to have an optional training every day. You don't have to participate. And don't feel like you're going to miss something that we'll never talk about again. We're always teaching, training, talking about these things. We're going to share the videos to the YouTube channel. We'll share that link out to our Facebook. So you'll have a ton of options where you can go back and get this information and participate in. but please don't feel obligated or pressured like you got to be here. I know it can feel like drinking from a fire hose, but we're not ever going to stop bringing you value. We're not ever going to stop training. We're not ever going to stop talking real estate. And we want you to join us every morning, but if you feel like that's too much, then I want you to take a day off and circle back. Tomorrow, we're going to be focusing on mindset again. It'll be a great class. We've got a schedule. Elise has emailed, or Amy1 has emailed out everybody the schedule for the next couple of weeks. I'll get them to repost that on the Facebook. Pick and choose the classes you want to participate in if you feel like, you're getting a little overwhelmed from it, because we certainly don't want to overwhelm anybody, but we're not going to stop marching forward, and we're not going to stop, trying to take our unfair share of the market and grow our business. So I also want to challenge everyone. Please reach out to one of your friends who's an agent, whether they're with us or not. We had a high of about 51 people on today. There's 400 in our group, right? So there's a lot of agents that aren't diving in, aren't training, aren't growing their business. Maybe they've got their head in their sand. So if you have a friend, an agent either with us or at another brokerage, reach out and invite them. Share this link. Tell them, hey, come join us. We're fellowshipping. We're masterminding. We're learning a little bit. We're growing our real estate business. We're getting in the right mindset. Let's try to drive that number up to 100 or 200 people participating so that we can pour into their business. If you have any issues, whether it's the Lake of the Ozarks group or the Branson group, please feel free to reach out to me, 817-312-0082. I'm happy to help. As long with the staffs from both market centers, we're here to support you. So I want to thank you all for being here. I want you to please continue to pray for our country and your fellow agents. And together we're going to get through this. So let's make sure that we're ready when we get back out of quarantine. Let's make sure we're ready to go out there and take a lot of business, take our unfair share of the market, and continue to grow. So thanks everybody for playing along. Have a wonderful day. We really appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat station. All right.
Everybody be well.